I'm Holly Michael, editor and publisher of the Twin Creek Times. And it's hard to believe, but last week was our 10th issue. And I thought it would be fitting this week to actually use the list to talk about the 10 most popular stories in the Twin Creek Times in its 10-week existence. So I'll count down from the bottom, and I think you'll see a common theme as we get toward the top couple stories. But I think that it's an interesting description of the interest that the community has in these stories and the work that we have done to bring good journalism practices to Farmersville and Germantown. So the 10th most popular story is Farmersville appoints new council members. And this one is a little bit of a surprise to me, but I think maybe people were interested in seeing the change in the village council and probably the news of the resignation of Tom Sears, a longtime stalwart in the community. Okay, number 9, the community recovers from the winter storm. And this is a story from January after we had the big snow. And I think the interest here probably has to do with some of the social media chatter around people skiing down the side of this hill at the dam. And I think you can see the skier there, that it was of interest to people and maybe something that had been going on for a long time that I just wasn't aware of. Okay, I think we're at number 8. This is one of the very first stories that we published in the Twin Creek Times, and this is about the LifeWise religious instruction and taking second graders off campus to have that program. And again, that garnered some social media debate. Here's another one that I was pleasantly surprised to see get so much attention. This is a story about former coach and teacher Dennis Good writing a book about Valley View football, and he was looking for input from various former players and coaches. And I think there's probably still opportunity if you want to follow that link to contribute to Mr. Good's book. Okay, so now we're getting into number 6, and this is just from a week ago. The Dollar General considering Farmersville has been a huge story and brought a lot of comments online. And I think a number of people are concerned about the potential of Dollar General coming to Farmersville. The story notes that the Village Council passed a 6-month moratorium on box stores, but there is interest from Dollar General in coming to the community. And another Farmersville story, this is about the commercial building here changing hands. And I did recently have an opportunity to check in with the new owners, and they still haven't made any plans or updates to what is happening. So the Farmersville Cafe remains. The medical center is still empty. So now we'll get into some of the stories in the top 4 here about the school, the village, the demolition of the school in Farmersville, the future of the land. This is one of the first stories where I talked about the demolition slated for March, but also then how Farmersville Mayor Nick Lamb had visited the Board of Education meeting to propose joint development. And then top 3 story of all time of the Twin Creek Times is when the mayor then comes back and says being on a committee with the school was a waste of his time. And this comes from a public records request of the email that he sent to the superintendent. And this story goes through and includes multiple quotes from the mayor spelling out the ways that he felt like the school did not honor some of its promises to them. The second most popular then is a story that sort of stems from the January visit by the mayor to the Board of Education meeting. And the Board of Education sort of fires back in their February meeting with President Tim Rudd making a number of statements. And this story also includes multiple quotes about how the school is looking at working with the village of Farmersville and their approach to the disposition of the land. And this is the second story. And now we are to the number one story of the Twin Creek Times in 2026 of all time. And this is another story from January. This is from our very second issue of the Twin Creek Times. And this is the story about Farmersville facing a dissolution vote due to a state law that requires there to be candidates for all open positions on the ballot. And Farmersville had 4 open village council seats and nobody ran for them. Now, they did appoint people, as the story that we shared earlier shows, but this put them on the target for dissolution by the state of Ohio. And after the 2030 census, there will be a mandatory vote within the village about whether they want to dissolve. Now, of course, the residents of Farmersville will have the opportunity to say, no, we don't want to dissolve, or yes, we do. So it's not an absolute. It's that the voters will be given that choice, and there's really nothing that can be done to sort of prevent that process from happening based on the way the state law is written. So again, thank you for supporting the publication for 10 issues now. And if you're seeing this and you're not a free subscriber, please go to the website and add your email address, and you can get the Twin Creek Times in your email box on Wednesday mornings, or you can check out the website as we've been doing in this video and see all of these stories. Thanks.